What's shaking YouTubeites? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box presents the Cover Price comic book shakers of the week. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Thursday. I hope you guys enjoyed Moon Knight last night. And man, tomorrow's Friday. Can you believe that? So that can only mean one thing, right? Freestyle Friday. So let's kick it off with some freestyle music, shall we? We shall.
Happy Friday, everybody.
I can be the same. I can be the I can be the I can be the same. I can be the I can be the same. I can be the I can
But wait, there's more, because you know whenever there's Freestyle Friday that we have to have a freestyle rap.
The baddest on the microphone apparatus is here. When I rock a rhyme, often eyes are dropping a tear. It's so beautiful, it's America's landscapes when this man makes lyrics like the syrups that you pour upon your pancakes. My mandate is to grip minds like a handshake. Spit Orlando Lakes and go skinny dip with the fan base. Over any damn breakbeat, I hastily make pastries tastier than anything that Wolfgang makes. So take notes out of suckers, I make coats, lump of some like Bubba Gump, fishing on lake boats. I take jokes and turn the comedy into drama. I'm bagging on your mama, I'm Jeffrey Dahmer behind ya. I'm a rhyme writer, lock stock, smoking the ganja. Rebuttals befuddle, leaving a puddle of saliva, sillies. You couldn't handle Randall when I throw my grammar at you. It hit your head and you would think I threw a hammer at you. I point the camera at you like Herb Ritz. Develop it, then use the pictures to pick up bird shits. You're nervous as the impervious wordsmiths hanging out in Rafa's new crib come with the verses.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's how you get the party started to wake you guys up. Shout out to
I'm always
everybody
impressed by Randall and his rap skills. That guy's amazing.
I love that guy.
Like I keep telling people, Randall Park was part of a rap group in the mid 2000s. Google it. I forgot what their name was, but they were like in the hip hop world, you would call them like backpack rappers. You know, people they didn't rap gangster rap. They weren't talking about this. They were just like kind of spitting ill flows, this, that, and the other. But shout out to everybody in the live chat once again. This is the Cover Price comic book shakers of the week. We're sponsored by our friends over at CovrPrice.com. Sign up for a two-week free trial or $6.99 a month after that for your price guides, collections, and trends, the top 10, the movers, and this here shakers list, which we have carefully selected some, and you may see some heritage books because there was a huge heritage auction that broke some major records. So it's also sponsored by our friends at Key Collectibles for all your CGC facilitating and signature needs. They also press and clean. Go to facebook.com, instagram.com/Key Collectibles. Show is also sponsored by our friends over at KRSComics.com. Use discount code of LOTLB to save 10% off any KRS Comics exclusive. This drops tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. This is the Obi-Wan Mike Mayhew cover, and methinks this will be hot. Because we all saw how Star Wars 2 has been kind of blowing up, right? So you know what? You may want to set your alarm for 9 a.m. if you're on the West Coast, and noon. Well, hopefully you're awake already if you're on the East Coast.
Not judging.
Yeah, not judging. Hey, I love to sleep in as much as the next guy, but this is the CovrPrice Shakers list. This comes from our friends at CovrPrice, focusing on new sales or sales of the most interesting sales found in their exclusive daily Shakers list. So this list changes several times a day, so make sure you check it out to review some of the hottest trending books on the market. So after we go over this random list of 10 books, we will go see what's shaking today, and it's always fun to see what's shaking today. I don't think this is an 0 for list, but maybe a 1 for list or 2 for list. Because there are some crazy books, but there's some pretty popular books on here as well. But there's one that is an absolute ghost that, yeah. But let's get right to it, boys and girls. JB, start us off. What do we got as our first shaker?
I'm going second, but Gabe's starting.
Oh, no, Gabe. I'm sorry. Gabe, go ahead. Let's kick this off, man.
Let's do it. So number 1 this week on the Shakers list is this awesome Age of X-Men Apocalypse and the Extracts number 1 David Nakayama 1 in 50 variant. While this may appear to simply be a gorgeous high ratio variant from the fabulous David Nakayama, who, by the way, is a super cool, nice guy. If you haven't read this groovy comic book, it's set in an alternate future where X-Men, aka Nate Gray, has created a utopia for mutants, but it's also a world that doesn't know what love is. Enter Insabab Nua and his mutant team of extracts to challenge the word of Nate Gray and bring love back into the world. Unveil, who only exists in this alternate X-Men timeline, was the highlight of the series. She was a fantastic power set where, per Marvel fandom, she can release and transmit into psychotropic mist, making her insustainable, while her substance can connect the minds and emotions of other people, unlock repressed memories, conceal the physical presence of people, and shield minds from detection or manipulation. She can also transport herself and others to long distances with her mist. This is a pretty powerful mutant power set, and one that should fold into the 616 multiverse. However, speculation around her isn't even a key driver of this week's high sale of a raw copy going for $324. This Odd X series confused fans and underperformed upon release, making this 1 in 50 variant one difficult comic book to find. The fact that it is done by one of the comic's hottest artists and has a cool first appearance, well, that's just a groovy comic book, baby.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I've never seen this before, and I always kind of, I see David Nakayama's signature, and I always think it says Sona for some reason. Gabe, what's the origins of that weird signature that he has?
No, I haven't heard anything about it before.
Yeah, but if you look right below her leg, you see it says
Yeah.
ONA, and then it's like, I think it says Sona, and I always figure, who's this artist named Sona? And so I was like, it's David Nakayama. So, all right, so yeah, this is an odd one, man, but $324 for a raw dog, that is nuts. Age of X-Men, Apocalypse, and the Extracts, issue number 1, David Nakayama 1 in 50. I just think everybody thinks, everybody's going to be into the multiverse of madness, and so that's why I'm wearing this. Noel laying for us, you see this? Yo, this is the cape that Tivo, the character, should have in Dream Walker #2. So you see, maybe not the Aya Agamotto. Maybe you can get in trouble with that, but you probably use something else. But all right. So next, first on the list, Age of X-Men: Apocalypse and Extracts, issue #1. All right, you ready for your first offer?
Definitely an over, but a very classic comic. Are you guys ready for this one? Next up, we've got Captain America Comics, issue #1, originally published in 1940 from Marvel. And the first appearance of Captain America was recently sold through Heritage Auctions for over $3 million.
Damn!
Now, the near mint copy of this comic sold for $3,120,000 on April 7th. Excuse me. Now, this particular issue came from a well-known collection commonly referred to as the San Francisco Pedigree Collection. The issue was graded at 9.4 from 1940. That's crazy. Now, this exact comic had sold for $915,000 in August of 2019. The value of this book almost tripled over 3 years, showing a $2.2 million appreciation. This sale and the sales of several other key books through Heritage Auctions indicate that the value of comic books on the secondary market has continued to increase. Many speculate that this increase is fueled by the COVID-19 pandemic and the explosion of interest in collectibles. Another critical factor is the rise in prominence of the key characters featured in this issue. This pre-World War II book features the first appearance of Captain America, aka Steve Rogers, his trusty sidekick Bucky Barnes, and the dastardly Red Skull. With the popularity of Marvel's cinematic universe, Captain America has become a household name. This issue was written and drawn by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. This makes Captain America Comics #1 the 5th highest selling comic book of all time. Now, the current record was formerly held by Amazing Fantasy 15 from 1962, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man. However, that was bumped due to CGC's recent announcement of an 8.0 private sale of a $5.3 million for Superman #1. Now, the third and fourth spots are held by Action Comics #1, the first superhero comic and the first appearance of Superman. Big time books.
So that's crazy that that Superman book sold, and it was through Mile High Comics. And so if you think about Heritage Auctions and all the seller fees you have to pay, so man, selling it, person to person, save yourself a ton of money if you could do that. Because typically, wherever you go, whatnot, My Slabs, eBay, you're gonna pay a premium or at least some price for it. But apparently Mile High had sold this, and I don't know if you've ever been to Mile High Comics website, but man, or their eBay, man, most of their comics are not as advertised is what I'm saying. So shout out to the Black Comic Lords, man. They said that Apocalypse Extracts book comes up quite a bit in discussion on the Black Comic Lords community. So go peep out the Black Comic Lords YouTube channel. Maybe I should be on there, right? Black Comic Lords, Lords of Longbox. That sounds like a perfect synergy to me. All right, so Captain America Comics issue #1 sold for a cool $3.1 million. I wonder how he paid. Like he wrote a check. He was like, "Hey, let me PayPal you." Was it cash? Was it wire transfer? A bank transfer?
Came over with a big briefcase.
Just a big bag with a dollar sign drawn on it.
A big bag of like small bills unmarked. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man,
5-gallon water jugs full of nickels.
That's pretty amazing, man. That just shows it, man. There's no bubble. These books people are really paying big dollars for this, man.
I'm waiting to see when these Action Comics come back around, because those ones that sold a couple years ago were like crazy money at like $3 million. I think that Nicolas Cage one went for. Can only imagine what that would go for today.
Yeah, anytime there's a Heritage Auction, you're going to see some crazy sales. I'm still baffled by the Marvel Spotlight #5 that I think sold for $280,000. I think
that 9.8 that came out not too long ago. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy. More than Moon Knight, and it hasn't even come out yet. It just shows that people are waiting.
All right,
All
Tebow,
right,
before we go, give us your best Dr. Evil on the recap on this one.
My best Dr. Evil.
You know, come on the 3 million.
$3 billion. All right. Sorry, I don't do a good Dr. Evil. All right. So next up on the list, you can't be a Shaker Show without having some pre-code horror. So what do we got for number 3?
Here we go. This is the fun stuff here. Love this cover. This is Crime Suspense Stories number 20 from EC Comics in 1953. Johnny Craig was one of the kings of horror with his unique naturalistic style. He was on his A game when bringing this cover from EC Comics to life in 1953. The year before the comic book industry demographic had a significant shift. Pre-code horror is making a gruesome comeback and has been on a tear during this unprecedented market as new collectors enter the genre-driven space that is comic books. We've covered this book rifle with murder, mystery, and mayhem in the past. A perfect example and evidence by the whopping recent sale of a CGC 9.6 at $31,000. People are willing to pay a premium for this classic book filled with a multitude of stories that depict some of the darker tones of the day. Luckily, there is a wide range of tiers to jump in at for fans of the artist's stories or genre, with raw sales ranging from $400 to $1,400 and CGC copies from $500 to the aforementioned $31,000. This book is available for the right price and collector. The scarcity and high quality books due to numerous read-throughs, the passage of time, and year-over-year growth keep this book's prices rising. But don't give up hope. When out at your local LCS, you may just spot it behind the counter or on the wall.
No
Gabe,
way.
I don't know about you. When I was at WonderCon, I saw a lot of pre-code horror.
Oh yeah, it's definitely made a comeback. It's
Wait a minute.
completely right in here.
Tell me you saw any pre-code horror in 9.6.
No, most of the no.
They're usually
definitely
beat
not.
to
No.
dirt. They're really
Yeah.
rough. Like I've talked about it before. These things survived, book burnings, and they survived wars and paper drives, and just the Frederick Wertham kind of oogie boogie that happened over the comic book industry at the time.
Sody.
Yeah, and just to see these things come back around and just even survive, they're mostly ruined and really beat up by that. This 9.6, this is a time machine kind of book.
Exactly. This
Well,
is
think about
this
this.
is evil. This is right here. This has got me with the going back in time right here.
Yeah, you got to get that gem, dude. Yeah,
I'm just saying that 2 out of the first 3 books, the number 2 book was a 9.4 from 1940.
Yeah.
And the number 3 book is a 9.6 from 1950. Where the heck? Somebody has a time machine.
It's
How
nuts.
did they keep them in this condition? I don't.
Yeah, because there was no
understand.
bags and boards back then.
I don't
mean,
know.
they just had to take care of it. Maybe they framed it or something, but it's pretty amazing to me. I mean, but yeah, man,
That just
Wow,
kind
they
of
did.
adds to like the patronage of these kinds of books, and they come out
Exactly,
in high grade.
exactly.
It's like, how did this happen? Like, did this ever exchange hands, or is this just stuck in someone's some kind of like Foot Locker for 60, 70 years?
Yeah, it was in a stack of Time magazines or something, and then wait a minute. there's
I
some
remember
comic
a
books in here,
few
too.
years ago there was a story about somebody bought a house and then they had left a dresser there or something, and they went through the dresser, and underneath the dresser in one of the drawers they found an Amazing Fantasy 15 or one of those books. It's one of those stories that it just once in a lifetime thing. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, everybody is a comic book collector or speculator or flipper or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you hear of an estate sale or a garage sale, I guarantee you there's people there looking for comic books.
At the crack
hoping
ass
that,
of dawn.
yeah, hoping that person doesn't know what they have on their hands. So, the day, like, if you ever watch Storage
Wars, yeah.
Storage
And-
Wars, yeah.
And now everybody goes to these storage auctions, and they're super packed out. Apparently,
Yeah. So I actually talked to the one guy. He's kind of the bigger, large set fellow with the son.
With the sun, yeah, that dude's cool.
So I actually he was at the Orange County swap meet and he was selling some stuff, right? And I asked him about the story about the comic books that he had bought. He is one of the first ones that actually in Storage Wars to find like a storage full of like comics, and he says I regret selling them at the time that I did. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them don't. Well, and then the other guy that has the wife, I mean, he ended up buying comics and got hooked on it, and then has his own store. And I think he's down in San Diego. I forgot his name, but he has his own YouTube channel where they, and he has like CGC comes to his house and everything. I mean, his secondhand store sells nothing but like dollar bin books, but he sends a lot of stuff to CGC. I mean, he's been finding a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm envy. But anyway, crime suspense stories. It's weird how it's just one word, suspense stories. Issue number 20 from 1953. A cool $31,000, or for the price of a car, basically. This is the house for a mansion. This is the price for a car. All right, get ready for another over, boys and girls. At least I think so.
Man, before we get to this one, shout out to Matt DeVoe and all the writers at CovrPrice, because this is another fantastic one. Wait till you hear this one. Dead World issue number 10, originally published in 1988 from Caliber Press. Now, we live in a world where the first preview image is not only relevant, but at times considered the true first appearance. Before there was The Crow number 1, there was Caliber Presents number 1 with an 8-page original story of The Crow. But before Caliber Presents number 1, there was Dead World number 10, featuring the first image ever of James O'Barr's The Crow. See below. Teasing the character's upcoming appearance. For decades, this issue has been highly undervalued. Even recently, as The Crow number 1 escalated in value, this issue and its variant have remained obtainable at $50 to $100 raw and $600 for a 9.8. Well, today, raws are reaching $150, and a 9.8 hit an all-time new high of $750 for the regular cover. Now, the variant is pretty fantastic and is much harder to find.
That's the variant right there.
That's the variant. Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen that one before either, but it looks pretty dope. But yeah, I've never seen this, and that is one gnarly cover. So if you got Dead World issue number 10, post on Instagram and tag me and show proof of life, and I'll send you a Marvel Low price.
No.
Yeah, I need proof of life. I need today's newspaper with your picture of your face holding it.
Like newspaper. What the hell is
What's
that?
a newspaper? Yeah,
exactly.
Somebody printed the internet.
Yeah, but then nowadays,
Yeah,
the world of deep fakes, anything is possible, right? They're just like, hit this, that, and that. All right, so Dead World, issue number 10 from Caliber Press, $710 for a 9.8. These are no longer surprising me, and that's why this list humbles me, because I find out about stuff that just I never knew about. So what's next on the list?
Coming up next is Dragon Ball Special Sneak Preview. Dragon Ball Z Special Sneak Preview from Viz Media 1998. After Dragon Ball's failed initial run in the United States in 1989, which launched concurrently with the highly undervalued first appearance of Dragon Ball in comics in magazine number 43 from Antarctic Press, the general public was graced with this dual preview almost 10 years later. Aiming to capitalize on the incredible success of Dragon Ball Z, creator Akira Toriyama looked to familiarize American audiences with the story that took place following the protagonist Goku as a child. Tying these two stories together did just that, propelling Dragon Ball to new heights among American audiences and offering a more comedic version of the story that resonated with younger audiences. Aimed at children and meant to be read, passed around, and shared, this book in high grade is scarce, with only six on the CGC census and only 2 9.8. This book rarely comes up, much less than a 9.8, with 2 recent graded sales of a 6.5 going for $175 and this week's 9.8 for an incredible $2,550. With new information coming rapidly regarding the new Dragon Ball movie, fans have this storied franchise on the brain. However, this high price might steer collectors back to the much cheaper, if you can find it, first appearance of Dragon Ball in comics with the aforementioned magazine number 43. Thanks to Topper S for finding the first U.S. appearance. This is cool.
Yeah, I mean, these books seem to be more and more prominent on our list. Books based on anime, manga,
Yep.
and video games and movies, right? That's why I think a great spec would be Avatar: The Last Airbender, because the new series that's coming out, right? When the movie came out, nobody cared, but there is an Avatar: The Last Airbender comic. And I think they just did some additional casting for it, so hopefully it'll wash the taste out of our mouth of the awful movie from M. Night Shyamalan that did the Dragon Ball Z, or excuse me, the Avatar movie, The Last Airbender, and also let's give a special shout out to the awful Dragon Ball Z movie that made also, which was a waste of Chow Yun-Fat's talents. Oh my God, how did they get Chow Yun-Fat to be in that movie? And
Money, paycheck.
Yeah.
I guess.
Poor. I mean, we have a tendency to look in terms of in our comic book world, right? Where Dragon Ball Z and is worldwide. I mean, everybody. I mean, it's in multiple languages. I mean, kids, adult. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, 1998, 99, when you were younger. Now people have grown up to be adults, and we've talked about this. Once they become adults, they have disposable income, and Matt DeVoe talked about it in his on his CovrPrice panel. It's a lot of nostalgia buys for people who are adults now that have jobs and hopefully have disposable income, and they're like, you know what? I remember this when I was a kid. I want to buy it, and sure enough, they did. So, Dragon Ball special sneak preview, Dragon Ball Z special sneak preview from Viz Media. Viz Media shows up a lot on our list, so man, don't sleep on these Viz Media books, man. All right, so halfway through the list, boys and girls, let's hear from our sponsor, MySlabs.com. Are you tired of paying 10, 15% or more for selling your slabbed and raw comics? Join the 1% revolution.
The platform designed by collectors for collectors just got even better. MySlabs.com is proud to now feature dedicated sections for both raw cards and raw comic books. Browse over 100,000 slab collectibles, authenticated by the industry's most trusted grading companies. Then check out a massive selection of sealed wax and now raw singles and raw lots. Join a passionate, no-nonsense community of nearly 50,000 members and enjoy some of the best buyer and seller protection in the business. And as always, MySlabs offers one of the most disruptive pricing models in the hobby, with seller fees as low as only 1%. So the next time you're forced to pay 10%, 20% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com, the low-fee marketplace by collectors for collectors.
Yeah, if you want to see, follow MySlabs_comics on Instagram, and they'll show you, like, somebody sold a book for, $10,000 and they only paid X amount of dollars in fees. So I have a submission of 17 slabs that I promised I was going to do a video for, that half of them are going to go onto MySlabs.com under my account, but I haven't done a video yet, so it's kind of like one of those things where I'm gonna do a haul video and immediately sell them. So yeah, so
you got to do, man. You got to do it.
I had to do it, man. But I've been so lazy and allergies that I was like, man, I haven't done a haul video. So I promise you, folks, maybe tomorrow I will. Maybe I'll do a haul video. Nowadays, it's like so tedious to do a haul video. You know what I'm saying? Like
Everybody does them too. I hear you.
Yeah, back in the day when I started in 2015, it was a whole setup. I used to do DJ mixes and this, that, and the other, edit, and it'd take hours of your time. And now it's like, maybe just go live and just show them. It's just like, geez, All right, let's go on next number list. You think you may know this book, but look carefully at the fine print.
Nah, you don't have this one. All right, next up we've got Iron Fist issue number 14, but the 35-cent variant. Originally published in 1977 from Marvel Comics. Now, in 1976, Marvel nervously tested a price increase from 25 cents to 30 cents in 6 test markets. They distinguished this new price with different colors or shapes. A starburst was the most popular. Now, deemed a success, They decided to try it again in 1977 with another 6 markets, possibly only a 4 or 5 for the 35 cents, with a price increase from 30 to 35 cents. Now, this time the difference was quite subtle, as they kept the same look and style of the 30-cent copies and simply replaced the price. Now, while Marvel fully adopted the 35-cent price, these low printed pricey variants are quite rare. They have generated some of the most valuable Bronze Age books like Star Wars #1 and this issue of Iron Fist #14, the first appearance of Sabretooth. This modern grail hit a high of $6,000 for a CGC 7.0. Now, what's notable about this sale is how it outsold all grades above it, except for a 9.4 from 2016, which still holds the all-time high record of $8,365. Now, we would expect that to resell for closer to 25 grand today.
That is nuts. And I love the way that how it's worded on cover price too. It's a regional price because that's what it was. It was like you said, it was only on test markets, just like the Mark Jewelers insert was only available, I believe, on military bases, right? I mean, so the scarcity, top of that with it's a key issue, first appearance of Sabretooth. But after we go through this list, I'm gonna go look up at Star Wars. Because that to me is the grail of all the price, I guess you can call price variant, or at least the regional price. That Star Wars #1 for a while it was a bit there, but I think once Disney Plus breathed new life into Star Wars, I'm gonna go look at the price on that. So remind me when we go look and see what's shaking today. I want to look up Star Wars #1 and see the regional price on it. So there you go. So Iron Fist #14, the 35-cent regional price. Variant? I don't know. I'll just call it regional price. I think here's a chance for everybody to get on the list, right?
Yeah, this is a good one here that might be in your collection, everybody. We got NYX #3. This book doesn't need any introduction. But either way, this is from Marvel 2004. Fun fact, Laura Kinney's first media appearance was on season 3, episode 10 of the X-Men Evolution animated series in 2003. And was voiced by Andrea Lippman. However, the first appearance of X-23 in comics came to us right here in NYX #3, which exposes her abilities but leaves out her entire origin story. The story of NYX is dark with mature themes in which she works for a quote-unquote businessman named Zebra Daddy. It's the first time where we are introduced to the character that will later become known as Laura Kinney in comics, aka Wolverine's daughter. Well, she was actually cloned from Wolverine by the mutant geneticist Dr. Sarah Kinney, so she is more like an adopted daughter. However, we don't learn that until her origin is later explained in her miniseries X-23. There are also 2 other miniseries, X-23 Innocence Lost and X-23 Target X, that further explore her origin and answer the questions of what happened to her before the events of the NYX series. NYX issue #3 saw a 9.8 sell for $2,040 this past week, which comes close to the all-time record $2,200 sale from January of earlier this year.
Yeah. And I had the most recent sale up there of 1,000 for a 9.6. And
Yeah.
I have a question for my guests and everybody in the live chat. Is it NYX or is it Nix? Because this is based on a character whose name is Kaiden Nixon. So I always think it's short for Nixon, which would be Nix, right? You know what I'm saying?
I've always said NYX.
I've always heard Joe Quesada and everybody else refer to it as NYX also.
There you go. That answers it then. Yeah, because it is, this is based on the character, her series, is Kaiden Nixon, who fortunately nobody cares about. They only care about X-23. So NYX issue #3 from 2004 on the list, shaking them up. All right, get ready for another offer, boys and girls, and I hope you have your spinach ready.
Get your offer ready. Next up, we've got Popeye issue #1, originally published in 1948 from Dell. Now, the first solo titled Popeye comic features the story, "Were there ever any pirates around here?" in which Sweet Pea asks Popeye that question and then proceeds to dig a trench around the house to protect them when Popeye confirms. Now, Sweet Pea might have been onto something, because this comic hit pirate booty status this week with a raw copy
Hey,
sold
now.
for a record high of $1,000. Now, writer and artist Bud Sogendorf was the assistant to Popeye's creator E.C. Seeger. He certainly believed the story was a treasure because he dedicated his life to creating and promoting the Popeye mythology in comics, toys, and games from this issue in 1948 until he retired in 1986. Thanks mainly to Sogendorf, Popeye has persisted in the imagination of several generations.
And it taught you as a kid to eat your spinach, as you too could have gigantic forearms, but no biceps at all. Yeah, Popeye. I mean, we all grew up on Popeye cartoons, right? You know,
Of
Popeye,
course.
Mighty Mouse, and
The
a
Popeye
very,
movie with Robin Williams.
very underrated with Robin Williams. He absolutely nailed the role of Popeye. You know, rest in peace, Robin Williams. But if you remember, there was a Popeye movie, and it was Robin Williams. What was this laugh? Something like that. But yeah, I always tell you guys, like Popeye, Disney comics, those things. There is a huge collectible market of people who collect not only comics, but people who are like, say, collect Popeye stuff or Disney stuff or Looney Tunes things, and then they see comics and they go, "Well, I have to have that as part of my collection too." So, wow, Popeye #1. Seems to be a good price to me. $1,000 from 1948, dude.
Or a big character, like definitely a character that's known around the world as Popeye. Yeah, this seems like a pretty cheap price for a raw book.
I'll probably butcher this, but I will gladly give you a hamburger today if you pay.
I'll gladly pay you
shit.
Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Sorry, there you go. I was gonna say, I know I was gonna butcher that. All right, so Popeye #1 from Dell Comics in 1948. All right, this one is a weird one, and almost like weird why it even showed up, because it seems to be like 5 years too late. But what do we got next?
Yeah, this is coming back from the dead, basically. So we got Sons of Anarchy #25. This is the 1 in 50 photo variant cover, which is super cool, from Boom Studios 2015. We often talk about rarity playing a significant factor in helping a variant disappear from online retailers. This is one of those books. The series was directly connected to the successful TV series of the same name. The comic series was favorably reviewed despite only being accessible to avid watchers of the TV series. It's safe to say that most stores were not ordering 50 copies of issue #1, let alone issue #25. At this point, stores were more likely only ordering copies for pull customers. This, of course, creates a perfect recipe for one valuable variant down the road. This week, a rare copy of this photo cover came to market and sold for $214 raw, destroying the affordable $10 it last sold for in June of 2021. Low print series are still doing this today. Find those niche comic series with large fan bases, sneak out the high ratio variants, and then wait it out. However, books like this take an incredible amount of patience to pay off.
I was a huge fan of Sons of Anarchy. With Suter was the showrunner of, Jack's what's his name, Charlie Hunnam or whatever his name is,
Hudlin, yeah,
had no idea who was Australian, because you hear him talk, but sometimes Australian or British actors, they have a very, very vanilla American accent, right? And if you watch Sons of Anarchy, once you realize he's Australian, listen to his speech patterns, and it's not normal. There's some actors. I always said this: English actors and Australian actors, or actors, where American English isn't their native tongue. They can do accents, right? They can do Southern accents. I mean, if you look at, Benedict Cumberbatch, who just got nominated an Oscar for that Western that he did, where they do Western accents or Southern accents. When Liam Neeson was in that movie with Next of Kin, very underrated movie, boys and girls. If you haven't seen Next of Kin with Liam Neeson and the dude from God, who am I thinking about? Help me out here.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
No idea what movie this is.
So next, jeez, I'm getting a brain fart. He was in Roadhouse. What's
Patrick
his name?
Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze, yeah. So Patrick Swayze is a cop from like the Appalachians, right? And he goes to New York City, and one of his people die, and his kinfolk, which is Liam Neeson, comes up from the Appalachians as this wreaks revenge, and Liam Neeson does this really weird kind of Kentucky Appalachian accent, but it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie, and it still goes with the age of time. I can't say the same for Roadhouse. I saw Roadhouse when I was in Vegas. And I was back in my room, and I watched Roadhouse because it was on TV, and I was like, "This is awful. What was I thinking when I was watching this when I was younger? I thought this was a good movie. I mean, I guess it's so bad it is good, right? But it's so 80s over the top. It is just like, man, but
That movie's great, dude. I love Roadhouse.
Watch Roadhouse now as an adult, and you'll just be like, wow, there's some, obviously, you can rip a man, you can kill a man by just ripping his throat out, but the other things.
You have a knife in your boots, yeah.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's just crazy the stuff that they do in that film, man. I was just like, wow. But you know what? I couldn't take my eyes off it. It's kind of like car accident. You drive by on the freeway, you just can't stop looking at it. But Sons of Anarchy number 25. For a while now, people are like saying he would be a great ghostwriter, right? They just said because he rides a motorcycle. You know what I'm saying?
That's all it takes.
Yeah, same with Daryl from The Walking Dead, right? He drives a motorcycle on a show, literally, where he drives a motorcycle around the country, and people are like, Daryl Nixon would be a great ghostwriter. There you go. All right, Sons of Anarchy number 25, the 1 in 50 photo variant. Good luck finding this. I have never seen this before. All right, down to our last one, boys and girls, but stick around because we're going to see what's shaking today. What do we got for the last one?
All right, before we hit that last one, if you are hanging out with us and I know you're having a good time, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Show us your appreciation. It's super simple. All right, here we go. Last one on the list for tonight. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 1, but it's the game edition exclusive from Tony Vargas, originally published in 2016, and that's important. Now, no one could have ever imagined the success IDW would find when it rebooted the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 2011. Originally planned to be a 12-issue run, this iteration officially became the longest-running Turtles series when it surpassed issue number 73 and is currently on issue number 127. There were an astounding 15 covers when the first issue was released in August of 2011. Now, the game edition was released in October of 2016, 5 years later, and as an exclusive to the TMNT Shadows of the Past board game. That's right. The board game was initially funded through a Kickstarter with the lowest package starting at $90. But there was also a package called The Works, which went for $150 and had an excellent pizza box cover. The only issue to come to market so far recently sold for $150, and it's quite an amazing price considering the game itself can be bought for much less, either brand new or used. Also, there is a version labeled Limited Game Edition, which was only included in the Works edition of the game. There's no way to tell the print run on the game edition variant, but there are very few of the board games currently for sale. The key is to find one in mint condition.
Yeah, I am of the age where I was a fan of the original kind of magazine format, black and white, before they became pizza eating cowabunga guys, when it was a darker comic from Mirage Studios. Obviously Turtle Power has just probably reached its low point when Vanilla Ice did a music video for it, right? That's probably...
You mean the high point?
I guess the high point or low point, depending on how you look at it. But trying to think, there was a remake not too long ago, right? Where did they CGI the Turtles this time instead of putting them in those giant foam suits? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, the movie with what's her face, Megan Fox. Yeah, they are. they're
Holy cow.
like CGI in there.
Yeah,
but
we
it's
have
one of
a
those ones
Megan-
where it's like it's real people, but then they CGI over them kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of both.
Trike tracing, yeah. So,
Yeah.
wow, we have a Megan Fox reference on the show. Wow, where has she been? Wow, all right. So that's the list, boys and girls. Don't go away. We're going to see what's shaking today as I do the seamless transfer over to the CovrPrice website and see what's shaking today, boys and girls. While you guys are waiting, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and all that other stuff, I guess.
All that yada yada stuff.
By the
And
way,
make
this
sure you-
this Ninja Turtle series is fantastic. If you're not reading it, you're missing out on some fantastic, great comic books right now.
Yeah. All right, boys and girls, let's see what's shaking today. You see my little picture up there, my little avatar. Okay, this was the top 10 that we covered on Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you tune in live if you're listening on the Rewind on podcast. These are the biggest weekly movers. Wow, that was pretty cool, actually. West of Sundown, that's House of Secrets 92 homage. That's pretty dope. But we're here to see what's shaking, boys and girls, and I can already tell you I have 3 of those, I do believe.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I got 2 of those.
Showing off again.
Actually, 2 of these Ultimate Fallouts I just got back from CGC, so beware.
What'd you get? Oh, have you not done the video
have to
yet?
watch the video, find out, man.
You got to pay to play, man.
Yeah, you got to pay to play, man. Spawn is always a fan favorite. I remember when this came out. This is the Trade Smart exclusive Todd McFarlane variant. Look at that. Kind of Day of the Deadish, I want to say. But whoa, $1,400 for a 9.8.
Wow.
Not bad.
That's not even the highest one. The highest one sold in for $1,800 for this. Spawn continues to defy logic, man. Even
Those
though
Spawn
they're-
collectors are hardcore, dude.
They are hardcore, and who knows when we're going to see a movie. Speaking of Disney comics, I told you guys, this is Donald and Mickey Merry Christmas. Aw, how cute is that? From Firestone dealers and stores. From Firestone Tires. So $1,000 and a 9.2.
So what? Back in 1947, if you bought 4 tires, you got this thing for free or something?
Something like that, man. Who knows? Oh, this is dope. Here we go. Digging this. Look at that. Don't miss The Ghoul Strikes Marvel Tales number 93 from 1949. $1,100 for a raw comic from Marvel. This is the Marvel's pre-code horror stuff. What, did this come out? Yep, 1949. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I rarely ever see those come online. Speak of the devil, Spawn. This is
Wait, what?
the newsstand edition, as noticed with the down there. $1,000 for a 0.0, whatever
What the
that means.
hell does that mean?
I don't even know. But the highest known value is $1,600 for 9.8. For a while, let me show you this. This was the kind of grail for Spawn collectors.
The black
This
and
is
white.
yeah, the black and white. As you can tell,
Ooh.
$2,100 for a 9.8. If you ever see this bad boy, this is it. And there's some other random variants that go for like $3,000. Just ask King of Golden State. He found some for like $3 and he flipped them for $3,000. That's right, yeah. And we're gonna keep with the theme here of kind of nostalgia and comics.
Nostalgia
This is-
cartoons. Yeah.
Hey, look, Gabe, it's Gold Key.
Oh, we know the guy that owns Gold Key.
Yeah,
We had
that's
that at
right.
WonderCon.
Yeah.
He needs to do
Jetsons
something
number
with his
1.
property.
The first appearance of the Jetsons, $995 to 7.5. I'm telling you, all nostalgia, boys and girls, all nostalgia. All right, I know why.
That's a
this is
second
here.
print. Second
First
print.
reprints the first full appearance of Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. This is the second print, all new Marvel .1, $912 for a 6.
It's a 9.6.
For a 9.6. I'm telling you, although you know.
Lord.
Kamala Khan may not be a cup of tea for all of us because, you know, we're grown ass men, but there's a lot of young girls and young people or just people who collect that just, and, you know, and I think once that series comes on, I think the book is going to go even higher than what it already is. So let's look at some of this. Oh, that is gnarly as hell. Ghost Stories, Scotland Yard and Terror's Grip, The Hunters and the Haunts. Wow, look at
We've
that.
got bondage. We've got headlights. You got all kinds of stuff going on.
We got
here.
hangings. We got all kinds of stuff happening. We got poison.
There is some crazy stuff going on here. This is from Ghost Comics number 7 from Fiction House, 1953. $900 for 4.5. That's the only one too. So good luck with that. Ghost Rider picking up some love. Let me see what's up with this other 0.1 here. These 0.1s have been hot. This is
It's the 1/100 variant. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Nick Bradshaw black and white 1/100 variant. Look at that wraparound cover. That is dope. First appearance of Sam Alexander Nova, 9.4 or so for $800. So people are totally specking on Sam Alexander, Richard Ryder, all of them.
They're
man.
both.
So,
They're all going to be in there.
yeah.
Throw them all.
Somebody asked me on Instagram, like, what was I talking about? What Nova Prime? Nova Prime first appeared in
Annihilation.
Nova Annihilation Conquest #1, where he kind of takes over the he gets all the powers of the Nova Corps. Before we get to this is one of my favorite books. One of the first appearances of Hellboy. I actually was going to buy a copy at WonderCon, but he was asking too much. First full appearance of Hellboy, black and white, 685, 9.8. The first actual appearance, I do believe, is a dime press book from Italy, of all places. I think I believe is what it was. But this is back when San Diego Comic-Con used to give out a comic. So I had a copy at one time, and I had Mike Mignola sign it at San Diego Comic-Con, and but I sold it, unfortunately. But it's still one of my favorite books to go out there and hunt if you could ever find one. MetaZoo, issue #1.
What the hell
Never
is
heard
that?
of this. This is strange.
Look at that.
Very
Magic
Pokemon
is real. Real magic is everywhere.
I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, if you Pokemon people know that isn't a Gizzard or Gizzard or whatever the hell they're called.
This is 2021. This is new. What the
Yep.
hell is this?
$690 for 9.6. Anybody in the live chat knows what this is. If this is related to, it just says MetaZoo Cryptic Nation. There's a little QR code on there. It's got to be some type of game related to some game that millions of people play. Some in the live chat, probably knows, because our live chat are some of the smartest people out there.
That mystery is crazy.
Pre-code horror.
Sounds
This is from
great.
Stanley
That
Morse.
is awesome.
Tales of Horror and Suspense. Mr. Mystery.
That's the best thing about these books is just how hardcore these covers were. Like whatever your kink is, they got
$600
it.
for a raw comic. Yeah, I mean, I can
The
see
colors
why.
are dope though. 1953. That's nice.
I'm going to tell you, man, the pre-code horror stuff has some of the best covers, better than the superhero covers, because they went all out and they went lots of color. But I could see how, nuclear moms, if you know what a nuclear mom is, stay-at-home mom in the 50s who, took care of the kids and the husband, and then little Jimmy brought home a comic with a head, like this. And then that led to Selection of the Innocent and all that good stuff, and congressional hearings and book burnings and all that stuff. Let's look at this, man, since Star Wars is always in it. That is a dope cover.
Is this
That's a cool
first
cover.
cameo Yoda? Yeah.
Yep, Yoda in the
Cameo
Shadows. $650 and a 9.8. So stoked for the Obi-Wan series. I cannot wait for that.
So they pushed it back a week though, right? But they're going to release 2 episodes at once.
They pushed it back a couple days, I thought. It's going to be on Fridays instead of Wednesdays. Because
Oh,
I think the
okay,
way they want it lined up is to have Marvel on Wednesday and then Star Wars on Friday.
I'm good. That's all.
So,
That's
Yeah.
what else do you want, man?
Exactly.
Marvel one day dedicated and Star Wars
Perfect.
another day dedicated.
speaking of Obi-Wan Kenobi, this drops tomorrow, boys and girls. KRS Comics exclusive. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan #1 from Mike Mayhew from KRScomics.com. Go to KRScomics.com tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Use discount code of LOTLB. Save yourself 10% and get this gorgeous cover. I have a feeling this is one of those things that are going to
I
sell
think it might
out.
go.
Yeah.
Where's the Marvel team up in there? Is there a Marvel team up in there?
Yeah, somebody in the chat's asking about that Marvel team.
Number 62. Why is it shaking? I don't know. Where's it
Where
at?
is it? Am I missing something?
Did we pass it?
Maybe we
Let's
passed
see.
it.
No.
Is he just making stuff up? Are we being
You messing
gaslight?
with us? Are we? Yeah, he's messing with us.
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
making us look things up, but maybe we'll look it up later. There's the usual suspects. Warlock. I'm telling you, don't sleep on these Warlock books. This is
Which
Marvel
one do you
premiere.
get though? When he's
All of 'em.
actually
All of
Warlock,
them.
when he's him, when he's in the cocoon, when he
Have them
when's the
all.
one to get?
It's too
I
hard
have
to
them all.
tell. It's all of them or none of them. You know, like
I mean,
is it the cocoon? Is it when he gets out of the cocoon? Is it the Thor story where he's
is
just
it
in
as
a diaper?
him? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the
the
origin of Adam
Fantastic Four
Warlock.
books? Do you
First
want
appearance of Adam Warlock as Warlock. So there you go. This Marvel Premiere run, there is a lot of great issues in there, man.
Awesome.
If you ever want to do a nice little complete run of something, go for Marvel Premiere.
Yeah.
It's a
Cost
nice
you a
little
fortune.
thing. Yeah, now, but back in the day.
Well, what's the highest book in there? What, Iron Fist? And is that even really that?
No, there's a
sought
bunch of
after?
good stuff in that
Yeah,
run, man.
at one time, Scott Lang too was a part of the Marvel Premiere run. Right. This is a dope cover. Miles
is great.
Morales, Spider-Man #1, the Garbett variant. Jesus.
I'm gonna bet he's French and it's pronounced Garbe.
Garbe, yeah, the Garbe variant, 1 in 50. Wow, 9.8 for 666. Hail! It's dope.
Hail Satan!
That's right.
Damn, 9.6.
I have this. This is a second appearance of Moon Knight, and if people can't get Werewolf by Night 32, get number 33.
I kind of like this cover more than the 32. They're just fighting on the ladder underneath the helicopter. How cool is that?
Yeah. This is a 8.0, so for $553. Wow. I'm telling you, Moon Knight has gone crazy.
It's such a good show. Speaking of accents, like Oscar Isaac's doing a great job bouncing between the
killing it.
accents. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jake Lockley just made an appearance.
But I don't know, man. I think they're kind of playing around with the character a little bit, and maybe they're kind of going to combine Lockley and like the Bush.
So, spoiler alert, there's a scene where Steven and Mark talk to each other, and they both said, "I didn't do this." And
Yeah.
there's only one persona that's left, right? Which would be what's his name, Jake Lockley.
Yeah, the
Jake
cab
Lockley, right?
driver.
You had a cabbie.
So- Yeah, so I have a
But I think
feeling
they're
that's-
playing him to be a little more darker.
Wow, lots of Moon Knight books on here. Moon Knight 25, impossible to find 9.8, but
Good
this
luck.
guy did. Good luck. Even the picture has dings on it. I think.
What, you're telling me somebody found 9.8 in that?
Yeah,
Holy
$396.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back then they didn't nearly have like the quality of printer now, supposedly. Oh, maybe they're talking about this Marvel team.
There it is. What's going on with that one? So
I
yeah,
do
that's the
believe this is
152.
so this is a 37. This is 30-cent cover price, $349 and 9.8. And what I do know about this book is this is the first meeting of Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel and Spider-Man. I do not know that for sure because I went and bought it.
Yeah.
But
Did you
when I
put this
found
on
out,
this list with your purchase?
no, I didn't buy it. I already have it, man.
No.
But I don't have the 30-cent cover though. More Star Wars on here.
Yeah.
But we've talked about this book before.
That's Sailor
I was already-
Moon?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Sailor
saw that
Moon.
at WonderCon, but they were asking like $900 for it or something crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I guess only Sailor Moon fans would really knows what this was. This is Sailor Moon, the San Diego Comic-Con 1998 pink foil, first U.S. Sailor Moon, $360 for a raw comic. Let's see how much. $1,000 for 9.8. How much did you see it for, Gabe?
900, but it was raw and not high grade. Like it was
Oh,
not
yeah.
a 9698.
Yeah.
That's
You know what? We rarely ever get a Journey into Mystery on this list. This Journey into Mystery number 122, $349 for 9.2.
Still
Can't
9.2
wait.
from 1965.
Yo, I can't wait for the trailer to drop for that. Speaking of the devil.
This is I think this is an overlooked book big time.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
9.8s are
I
like $300. Like that's
Yeah.
pretty inexpensive.
$325.
first cover appearance of Jane Foster as Thor. I told you a story when my friend the Big To Do was at Hall H panel when they announced Thor: Love and Thunder and Jane Foster would be Thor. Everybody got on their phones and started buying them up off eBay. That What If
yeah.
book. Yeah. I know why this is on here because there's a movie coming out. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys seen
Get
the
outta
trailer
here.
for it.
Serious?
there's
Love
a-
Bob's
there's-
Burgers.
there's going to be a theatrical movie based on this. So this is Bob's Burgers #1, 9.8 for $300. I would have never guessed it, but people are just saying, hey, if a movie's coming out, then it has to be something, right?
Gotta be something.
Kanto. This supposedly is in development. We don't know when it's going to be, but
Hold on. Who? I thought this was like one of those Will Smith and his wife production things. It might be on hold, right? I don't know. I'm just messing with you.
I don't know.
I thought this was a purchase by Will Smith and his wife.
Yeah,
They
I
were
think
the
it's
ones that
coming.
were
It's
developing.
coming to Netflix, so we shall see, man. I mean, it's his production company; they can do whatever they want with it, man. So that is a cool cover too. I'm digging it. One more book. I think Gabe and I were talking about this with somebody. I think maybe Otto, about how Frank Miller changed his style and did for the art and the panels from how they do not do this anymore in modern day comics. Is when he used to show panels of like doing backflips, and there was the way that they showed how people did it. In comics in the 80s, maybe up to the 90s, whenever somebody threw a punch, you would actually see a trail to show the action, which is something they don't do anymore at all. Yeah. And I miss that. Maybe it's an old piece of, timey art that people, but, you would actually see a trail to show that, this is a punch coming from this direction.
Yeah.
But in
or speed
Daredevil,
lines.
I think 184, 185, there's whole panels of him doing like backflips and jumps and fighting the hand. It's absolutely fantastic. So this is obviously first appearance of Elektra, $275 for a raw comic.
That's not expensive. That's really good for this book.
But 9.8 forwards for $5,000. So
that's
yeah.
Good luck on that one, everybody.
Yeah. Good luck on that. That is what is shaking today, boys and girls. Thank you guys all for joining us. For held you captive long enough. JB, any last words?
No, just thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. This is like my whole YouTube gig right now is doing this show, and I really appreciate it. So thanks for having me.
Anytime. Gabe, any last words?
Thanks everybody for showing up. Thanks for having me on. You can follow me on Instagram, Gabe Loves 90s Comics, and see you guys next week for some more shaking.
That's right. I will probably see you guys on Sunday for Letters of Longbox with Mikey Sutton, and I promise I am going to do a haul video of some sort, be it live or pre-recorded. I got about 16 slabs that I got back from CGC, and I will show them. I have to show them, because if you see back in the day when you do haul videos, it's like you waited to get a stack of stuff, and then you couldn't put them away until you did a haul video, and then they would just pile up and pile up and pile up. But I stopped doing that with my regular comic hauls and stuff like that, but I just do hauls for slabs now. So we'll see what we'll get. Till next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes, and peace out.
The world's three greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Go on and get some, boy. What the heck is the deal? I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
What's in the box?